Okay, when you hear the term anti-aging, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably stuff like, I don't know, collagen, antioxidants, maybe a fancy new skincare routine, right? But what if I told you that one of the single most powerful tools for staying strong, not just in your body, but in your mind, is something you probably associate with giant bodybuilders? Yeah, let's get into it.
We are talking about creatine. And I know what you might be thinking, but just stick with me here, because the science is absolutely fascinating, especially for women. It's really time we start seeing creatine for what it is, not some muscle bulking agent, but a fundamental supplement for health and longevity. So in this explainer, we're gonna tear down all the old myths. We'll talk about why it's not just for the gym bros. We'll cover how it literally builds strength for your body and your bones. Then we'll get into the surprising boost it gives your brain. And of course, exactly how you can start using it. And finally, we'll put it all together to show you why it really is an anti-aging powerhouse. All right, first things first, let's just get past the biggest misconception right out of the gate and talk about what creatine actually is and why it's so important. The most important thing to get is that creatine is completely natural. I mean, your body already makes about a gram of it every single day. And yeah, you get a little bit from meat and fish, but here's the catch. It is almost impossible to get enough from your diet to see the real optimal benefits. And that's where supplementation comes in. I mean, creatine monohydrate is one of the most studied supplements on the planet. And here is the key biological difference that changes the entire conversation. Just look at this. Women naturally have 70 to 80% less stored creatine than men. That is not a small gap. That's a huge difference. And because our baseline is so much lower, we often see an even bigger, more noticeable impact when we start supplementing. Okay, let's just tackle the #1 fear right now. Is this gonna make me bulky? The answer from the research is a clear no. Unlike men, women just don't typically gain weight or get bigger. Now, if you do see the scale tick up a tiny bit, it's almost certainly just better muscle hydration, which is a really good thing. It just means your muscles are healthier and working the way they're supposed to. So, now that we've busted that myth, let's dig into how creatine helps you build the actual foundation for powerful aging, physical strength and resilience. All right, here's the super quick science lesson. Your muscles run on a tiny energy molecule called ATP. It's the fuel for intense stuff, like lifting weights. When you do a rep, you use up some ATP. Well, creatine acts like a rapid recharger. It swoops in and helps rebuild that ATP, like right away. And that means you can push a little harder, maybe get that extra rep, and recover faster. And this chart shows you what that looks like in the real world. It's amazing. In a 10-week study, women taking creatine saw their exercise performance jump by 15%. For men, it was only 6%. That's more than double the impact, which points directly back to our lower starting levels. But look, this goes so far beyond just getting a better workout. We have meta-analyses, that's studies of studies, confirming that if you combine creatine with resistance training, it's way more effective than just training alone for building muscle and strength, especially in adults over 50. It even helps boost bone mineral density. This is how you fight back against sarcopenia, that age-related muscle and bone loss we all should be thinking about. Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool for me. We've talked about the body, which is great, but the benefits of creatine also extend up to one of our most important organs, our brain.
So you remember that big creatine deficit we have in our muscles? Well, it turns out we have it in our brains too. Specifically in the frontal lobe, which you can think of as the command center for pretty much everything that makes you, you. I mean, just think about what the frontal lobe is running. It's your mood, your ability to think clearly, your memory, your emotional regulation. So giving this part of your brain more of the energy it needs to run properly is an absolute game changer, especially as we navigate all the hormonal shifts of perimenopause and beyond. And just look at this incredible study. They took a group of women with major depressive disorder, and for one group, they just added 5 grams of creatine to their daily antidepressant. The results were dramatic. The creatine group responded twice as fast, and they went into remission at double the rate of the group on the antidepressant alone. That shows such a powerful link between brain energy and mental well-being. So what all this means is that when you're stressed out or you haven't slept well, your brain is just burning through energy like crazy. Creatine helps your brain keep up with that demand. It reduces mental fatigue and helps you think more clearly when you need it most. It's literally like having an energy reserve for your mind.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, all right, I'm sold. How do I actually do this? So let's get practical and talk about how to make this a super simple part of your daily routine. First off, don't get lost in all the fancy, expensive options out there. The science is crystal clear on this one. Creatine monohydrate. It is the most researched, it's proven to be incredibly safe, and it's the most effective form. Plus, it's almost always the cheapest.
And the dosage is just as simple. The general recommendation for women is somewhere between 3 and 5 grams a day. A really good rule of thumb is 3 grams if you're under 120 pounds and 5 grams if you're over that. And no, you do not need to do any of those complicated loading phases you might have heard about. Now, there is one rule that is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to see the benefits. You have to be consistent. You need to take it every single day, whether you work out that day or not. The whole goal is to keep your muscle and brain stores topped off so they're always ready when you need them. I just throw the powder in my morning smoothie, but capsules work great too.
All right, let's bring this all home, because when you look at all these benefits together for your body and your brain, creatine really starts to look less like a supplement and more like a whole strategy for aging well. I just love this quote because it completely reframes the goal, doesn't it? This isn't about some passive acceptance of getting older. This is about actively building and holding on to your strength, your vitality, and your resilience for years and years to come. So when you put it all together, the picture is just so clear. Creatine gives you strength for your body to stay moving, energy for your brain to stay sharp, and support for your bones to stay strong. It's a simple, safe, and unbelievably effective tool for aging on your own terms. So the final question really isn't whether or not creatine works. The science is pretty clear on that. The real question is for you to think about. What could adding this one simple tool to your routine do for your future health and your future strength?